cocaine, and 2,000 MDMA pills. Now, the district attorney's office says that 33-year-old John Fan and 25-year-old Calvin Lay are facing numerous gun and drug charges, including illegal firearm manufacturing. Now, they were arraigned earlier this afternoon. If convicted, they face 18 years in prison. Oil prices globally, well, they fell more than 2% today after OPEC plus oil ministers moved to voluntarily cut 2 million barrels per day for the first quarter of next year. But KCBS's Shannon Golden reports that our recent respite from higher gas prices might be short-lived.
OPEC Plus, a coalition of oil-producing nations led by Saudi Arabia and Russia, will plan to cut 1 million barrels from daily production. Gas prices in the U.S. have been falling for 10 weeks straight, and although the national average of $3.25 a gallon is a far cry from last summer, it might not last.
Try to enjoy the prices while you can, because we're concerned that next year they'll be a bit higher.
That's Phil Flynn, senior energy analyst at the Price Futures Group, who says we're likely to see price increases of 50 cents to $1.
I think around Christmas it's going to be a little bit more expensive to drive to your mother's house.
Although the U.S. is producing more oil than it did before the pandemic, an average of 13 million barrels daily, it's not prepped to fully offset cuts in other countries, especially with pushback from environmental agencies and activists to impose oil restrictions. In San Francisco, I'm Shannon Golden, KCBS.
San Francisco Bay Ferry set a lofty goal for itself a few years ago, becoming the cleanest and fastest ferry system in the world. As KCBS's David Welch reports, thanks to grant money from the Federal Department of Transportation, well, that goal may become a reality.
There's a healthy competition among ferry networks. It's global, it's friendly, and it's all about who's cleanest and who's fastest. San Francisco Bay Ferry scores high marks for being green, but thanks to a $16 million grant from the FTA, they're hoping to pull away from the pack.
Our goal is to have the best, fastest electric ferries in the world.
Bay Ferry Executive Director Seamus Murphy says the newest grant infusion allows them to do just that. Golden Gate Ferry, which services Sausalito, also received a grant, and both networks plan to use a combined $22 million to start building boats early next year.
Somebody's going to be faster and better shortly after we launch these, but that's how this works. We need to push the industry to continue to innovate.
In the race for cleanest and fastest, Norway has long been a global leader in electric ferries. Murphy says the Bay Area now has them in sight.
We've raised the funding to actually get started and make some real progress towards replicating and even improving on what they have in Norway.
In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
The city of St. Helena is asking residents and businesses to lower their water usage beginning tomorrow as it works to address discolored water and repair the main wastewater treatment plant. Now, St. Helena will have to work with a variety of vendors to fix the problem, which will involve hydrant flushing and careful inspections of the entire plant. Now, 2 storage tanks were filled with water and will be used in place of the plant, as well as the Stonebridge wells and the water from the city of Napa. While the main water plant is temporarily offline, the work is expected to last until spring of next year. Now we go to Larry Kosky with your Bloomberg Money Minute Report.
Wall Street closed out its best month in more than a year with a mostly higher session. Dow Industrials jumped 520, ending at their best level since mid-January 2022. The S&P 500 gained 17, the Nasdaq lost 32. Next time you try to place an order on the Starbucks mobile app, you may see a message that says temporarily unavailable. Starting next month, store managers will be able to pause mobile orders if they're overwhelmed so employees can catch up. Texas is suing Pfizer, accusing it of overstating the effectiveness of its COVID vaccine. It accuses Pfizer of using misleading statistics and trying to intimidate and silence those who question the shot. Want to buy a boat? Dealers would love to sell you one. After boat sales caught a pandemic wave, they're sinking under the weight of high interest rates. Sales are back to the lowest level since 2013. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Do you have neuropathy? Are you experiencing numbness, tingling, and pain that just won't stop? Are you taking dangerous drugs that have serious side effects and never fix the pain? If so, please listen to this message. Neuropathy is a serious progressive condition that only gets worse if not treated properly. Call SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE to get back to doing the things you want to do. There is no drug, exercise, or surgery that can heal nerves. Don't wait until your condition gets worse and stops you from living your life fully. SF Bay Wellness has a time-tested, proven track record of helping hundreds of patients to improve and reverse their neuropathy. If you're ready to regain your independence, contact SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE. Call now for your $99 neuropathy special and receive a personal treatment plan that is tailored to your needs. Call 844-946-3783. That's 844-946-3783 and start to enjoy life again.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world. Turning to the best in the business for websites, go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-230-7889. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-230-7889. 800-230-7889. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Traffic and weather together here on the 8s on KCBS. Let's go back to Frank Communic and get an update on that really bad crash in Crockett.
Yeah, we're going to go back to that real mess on westbound 80 at Cummings Skyway. All traffic is being taken off on westbound 80 at Cummings Skyway because of a crash involving two big rigs and a box truck that's a smaller version of a big rig with an enclosed rear. Regardless of which is a big rig and a box truck, they're blocking all lanes and all traffic is being rerouted onto Cummings Skyway. You're going to have to take that to San Pablo Avenue. You can't take eastbound 780 incidentally off of 80. That is closed for road work. Your next update at 11:38. Traffic leader KCBS.
All right, thank you, Frank. Now for tonight, you're going to see partly cloudy skies, but by the time you wake up in the morning, more sunshine. Going to have your highs tomorrow in the low 60s. Watch out, though. We're going to see more clouds and a slight chance of rain arriving tomorrow afternoon. Traffic and weather here on the 8s on KCBS.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Planning a road trip this fall? Maximize your fuel economy by inflating tires to proper pressure and packing light. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Ready or not, the winter rain is coming. So don't wait, let's paint. Hi, this is Matt Jesse, president of MB Jesse Painting. This is your chance to beat the rain. We still have room on our fall schedule for your exterior painting project. Call 855-MB Jesse. Thinking about interior painting? Or maybe painting your kitchen cabinets before the holidays? Call 855-MB Jesse for a free estimate. So why wait? Let's paint. Call 855-MB Jesse today. MB Jesse.
News that matters to you. Around the bay, around the world, around the clock. All news 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
It's Thursday, November 30th, 2023, coming up on KCBS.
This is Matt Bigler in Livermore, where the Help Wanted sign is out at the U.S. Post Office.
We are always hiring.
And a new study suggests the type of personality you have could determine your risk of dementia. I'm Shane Giddens. It's 11:31.
CBS News Brief. The Israeli military says its truce with Hamas is over, and its fighter jets are attacking Hamas targets in Gaza. The BBC's Hiro Bachega.
The Hamas-run interior minister said multiple areas had been hit by Israeli airstrikes.
The restarting hostilities is likely to worsen the humanitarian crisis in the territory amid shortages of essential supplies.
Palestinian student Kenan Abdel Hamid has told CBS News about being shot in Vermont.
When I sat down, I felt this extreme spike of pain, and that's when I realized I might be shot. So I put my hand where the pain was, and then I looked at it, and it was soaked in blood. I was like, holy I was shot.
There are allegations of drinking on the job at a military base responsible for protecting and defending the homeland. CBS's Catherine Herridge.
Alcohol is not totally banned in military commands, but there is an approvals process, and whether that was done here is part of the investigation. General Van Herk told CBS News that at this time he is confident his team performance was not impacted.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
And good Thursday evening, I'm Shane Guinness. Continue on with your KCBS newscast. Well, we all know that exhibiting a positive attitude on a day-to-day basis can lead to a happier life, but it can also prevent dementia. That's out of a recent study from UC Davis and Northwestern University, where scientists look into the association between personality traits and dementia-related impairments. Now, to hear what they found, KCBS's Brett Burkhardt spoke with Dr. Emery Beck, assistant professor in psychology at UC Davis and lead author of this study.
This subject is near and dear to my heart because I lost my grandmother to Alzheimer's. It's just an unfair disease for family and loved ones. So tell us, how were you able to find a link between positive attitudes and dementia?
So there's a lot of research that has sort of suggested that personality traits, or are sort of tendencies towards specific patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behavior are linked with some of the clinical and sort of biological symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. But a lot of these studies were pretty small and sort of representative of specific samples. So my colleagues and I actually spent about 2 years basically just sort of trying to find as much data as possible where we could both look at sort of people's personality traits, usually like in midlife or something like that, or maybe early and older adulthood, and then follow up with them for 10, 20 or more years to see who would and wouldn't go on to develop a dementia diagnosis, as well as after people pass to see, how much sort of biological pathology they actually had in their brains. And so what we were able actually to do then is just sort of see whether or not sort of like your personality now might have consequences for like your cognitive health later. And what we found actually was that there was good evidence across a bunch of these different samples that our personality traits are linked to our sort of like long-term cognitive functioning and our risk of developing dementia.
How do you measure positivity?
So the way we measure personality traits, the biggest ways we use what are called personality inventories. These are just tests that you can take about anywhere, really. There's tons of them online. And so we were specifically looking at sort of 2 different classes of these measures. One is called the Big Five. So this is sort of your tendency to be extroverted, conscientious, agreeable, open to new experiences, or neurotic. And then also we were looking at sort of subjective well-being, so tendencies towards experiencing high levels of positive or negative affect, as well as your satisfaction with your life. And so we just ask people a bunch of questions and have them sort of rate how true something is or is not of them. And we just sum those up.
Wow, that's a lot of work, but it's clearly the reason why it took so long. But Alzheimer's disease, I was surprised to learn today, is currently the 3rd leading cause of death in California. But this research shows it could be mitigated by lifestyle changes, as you've been reporting in your study. How can that affect the healthcare system overall?
Yeah, I think a big challenge right now is sort of recognizing that a lot of these we call disease-modifying treatments, so things that are going to sort of reduce dementia once you're actually diagnosed, just aren't really working. And so we've sort of shifted towards looking for these risk-modifying treatments. And so we think that personality traits are actually a great way to sort of think about this. I think a lot of us think of our personalities as something that isn't modifiable, but if we really think about the fact that it's these patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and we recognize that people who are conscientious, for example, engage in a lot of positive health behaviors. They don't really smoke or drink that much. They exercise, they eat well, they engage in a lot of preventative health care, they go to their doctors. And that people who are high in extroversion have a lot of social interactions, which we know is also linked, to a lot of like positive things. And so we think that this sort of suggests is if you sort of know something about your personality, and we do, people are actually really good at sort of understanding themselves. What we can do is sort of try to find people who might sort of be low in something like conscientiousness and try to help them build habits or routines that would sort of promote their health long term. Or people who are low in extroversion, we want to find ways to make sure that they get enough social engagement that could be protective for them long term. Or people who are high in neuroticism who experience lots of negative emotion have the opportunity to, do something like psychotherapy or other things that are sort of, used to reduce our tendencies towards experiencing all these negative emotions. And that over years and years, this should reduce your risk of at least the sort of clinical or cognitive symptoms of dementia.
Now, that's Dr. Emery Beck, Assistant Professor in Psychology at UC Davis and lead author of this study.
Bill and Kathleen from American Vision Windows.
We love people, and we love to see people's lives transform and change for the better.
That's why we've literally given half of the company back to the employees. Those installers that come to your house, they want to live up to that. That's a white glove treatment.
I am 23 years later very energized about what we sell.
I get joy. I can't wait to see the next customer. Come visit one of our 5 beautiful California showrooms. Choose any 2 of our most popular offers. Free upgrade to Sun Matrix. Free sound package, repay the tax, 0 interest and 0 payments until 2025, free expert installation. Tune in to the Let's Talk Vision podcast, available on all platforms by American Vision Windows. Call 888-347-0711 or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
Just the vision, American Vision Windows.
Offer subject to change at any time. On approved credit, call or see website for details. Offer expires 11/30/2023. CSW number 778326.
Pro football player Travis Kelce is pressed for time during the football season. So he does 2 things at once. Whether it's grilling while mowing,
2 things at once,
or getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot at the same visit as his flu shot.
2 things at once.
You can be like Travis and ask your pharmacist about getting this season's COVID-19 shot at the same visit as your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Traffic and weather together here on the 8th on KCBS. Let's go back over to Frank Munich and get an update on Crockett.
Well, and we're going to go back out to the major mess. This is westbound 80, just past Cummings Skyway. All traffic on westbound 80 is being taken off at Cummings Skyway due to a crash involving 2 big rigs and a box truck. 3 vehicles involved there. It's the box truck that's overturned, and all lanes are shut down. All traffic being taken off at Cummings Skyway. We had mentioned 780, eastbound 780 off of westbound 80 is an alternate. Well, it turns out that's not an alternate. That connector is shut down for road work. So the best bet is to try and wait things out just a bit on the Carquinez Bridge until you get to Cummings Skyway. Once you get to Cummings Skyway, you can take San Pablo Avenue all the way down to get back onto westbound 80, but it is quite a bit of a wait and quite a bit of a backup. A new problem being reported on the Bay Bridge. This is eastbound 80, just before the toll plaza, so that's on the decline section before you get to the toll plaza. We have a report of one car that hit some debris that fell off of another car. Now that car is on the right-hand shoulder, and we have bridge crews trying to get that completely off of the span. Your next update at 11:48 on the traffic leader KCBS.
Now we take a look at your KCBS Bay Area forecast. Part of the cloudy sky is going to become more clearer once we get into your Friday morning. Now you're going to see sunshine starting off for your Friday, more clouds, and a slight chance of rain will return back into the afternoon and into your Friday evening. You're going to have your temperatures in the low 60s for your highs for Friday. Now taking a look at the weekend here, slight chance of rain and cloudy conditions will continue into the weekend and into the first half of your next week. More likely you're just going to see cloudy conditions, but that chance of rain is going to be 10 to 20% range. You're going to have your highs in the mid-50s to low 60s from this weekend all the way into Wednesday, and at nighttime look for your lows to not leave out of the low 40s. Traffic and weather together here on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Well, the U.S. Postal Service is hiring thousands of temporary employees during this holiday season.
This is Matt Pat Bigler at the Livermore Post Office, where the Help Wanted sign is out almost year-round.
We hiring not only during the seasonal time, we hire throughout the year.
Postmaster Harminder Singh Hundal says they're adding about 10,000 seasonal employees to help with the holiday mail crush, which is roughly double their usual volume. Hundal says temporary postal jobs can turn into careers. He started out as a mail carrier.
So I really love this job, and I'm here for 29 years and about 3 months, and I have about a couple more years to go.
Layoffs are almost unheard of in the USPS, says spokesperson Miko Patton.
In my 29 years of working here, I've never heard of anyone being laid off.
The nearly 250-year-old agency has promised union workers there will be no